Let's get into the things you should never do on a sales call.
My number one, don't go in desperate because the clients can smell that. So if you really, really want the job, if you feel like it's your job already, you're going in desperate. They can smell it on you and you're going to feel like you have to justify every single thing that the client asks you about.
Okay, never, ever, ever cut off the client. When you ask a question and they're talking, do not interrupt them because they start to think, my God, is this person going to just cut me off? Don't do that. It's a good sign that you're not listening.
Next thing, don't assume what they want or need. Don't assume what they find value in. You have to have them say it. You have to ask the right questions. So I think a lot of people in the pro group, or even me in the past, where I would assume that, oh, you need this logo and you need a brand identity and you need to know how to use it for all these things, right? And they said none of that. So it's not really valuable to them. I'm just shoving it down their throat and I'm assuming that they want these things.
If you can remain neutral and unbiased, you're going to do much better for yourself. You're going to close more clients. You're going to build rapport and earn their trust. Yeah, I've said this before, but I'm going to re-emphasize this one. Do not go past the sale. So when a client agrees to the price, to the terms, you just get off the phone and get out of the way because you're only going to screw it up. And we've shared stories before with Mr. Jordan Belfort about how he talked about going to buy a car and the person was just trying to sell him, I'm ready to buy the car. Just give me the paperwork, take my money. But they were just so trained like dogs and they just couldn't stop themselves. He left. Matthew, another one?
Don't go in focusing on your script, on what question to ask next. You have to listen to what the other person is saying. Because a lot of people, and I've done this a lot in the past, where I would go in with 10 questions because I read the RFP or I read some of the documents they sent beforehand. So I prepared 10 questions to ask them. So the problem was that I would go into these calls and I would just ask my questions and not even listen to the response. I would let the clients drive that conversation, and the way you do that is by asking high quality questions. So if you're doing this right, you are asking maybe 10% of the time of the conversation. That's how much you're speaking. The rest of the 90%, you're letting them speak because they are spilling their hearts out. They're telling you what's valuable, what they need from you, and you are getting all the answers there.
Guess what? You have one of these and you have two of these. You should be doing this twice as much as this, okay? If you've been enjoying this kind of conversation, I would highly encourage you to think about joining the pro group. It is an incredible community of people, and this is what we get to do. We get to talk about all the dirty little secrets and talk about clients and how to solve these problems and coach each other. And it's the most affordable way to get me to coach you.
And we do this on the daily. We have a weekly call, but there's a Facebook group that conversations like this are happening every single day.
Yep.
And everybody that's joined the pro group so far has just found some value. Some people have left, and that's because they don't need it. They've mastered everything in the group, and that's totally fine. And there's just so much power to the group, and I'm super grateful that I'm part of that thing because I feel like I learn from other people every day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's not a closed learning loop. It's an open learning loop.